Add AI to your customer service chat in about 5 minutes with just JavaScript and NLUDB. So we'll start this demo with a mock-up of a customer service chat interface, where up top we can add customer messages, and then down at the bottom we can simulate adding merchant responses. The UI for this chat window is already implemented. What we want to do in the demo is implement the on-incoming, on-outgoing, and save answer hooks so that our AI can jump in and work together with the customer service rep. So first we're going to store some state. We'll have a variable that stores the active chat suggestion for the customer service operator, and also a making suggestion bit, which will control the way the UI looks. We're going to pass those down to the customer service chat, and again, the UI here is already implemented because what we really want to focus on is how to add AI smarts to this UI. So let's go up here and just implement these hooks. We'll add some fake data. So on an incoming message, we're going to set the suggestion to just that message, and then ... really. And then on an outgoing message, we're going to set the suggestion to null. We want to clear the suggestion when the operator sends back a message. And let's try this out. Do you ship to Hawaii? And then we see the suggestion here, do you ship to Hawaii, really? We can move that down into the chat box and we can then customize it. Yes, we do. And then if the customer asks another question, how about Canada? We can see the suggestion loads down there. We can say yes, even Canada. So there's this other button that you see down here, send and save. So what is the send and save button? Let's take a look. So that will trigger this save answer callback. This is where we want to add the customer service rep's answer to our knowledge base so that it will load in the future. So for now, we're just going to put another dummy value here. We just saved so-and-so. Let's click it. We see that it says we just saved so-and-so. Okay, so we see that the data is flowing. Now the question is, how do we take these 3 callbacks and add some AI smarts? And to do that, we'll use NLUDB. NLUDB helps developers get more done with NLP without all of the data management and ML ops. So we'll just import NLUDB, an embedding model, from at NLUDB/client, the TypeScript library. We'll create a new instance here. So NLUDB is a cloud SaaS. We'll pass it the API key from our environment. And then we're going to create something called an embedding index. This is a data structure that lets you store the neural representation of a concept and then query it. So this is what's going to let us add facts that the customer service representative says and then query them with natural language. So we'll first add the index as a piece of state in our React component. We'll initialize it to null. And then we're going to asynchronously initialize this with a useEffect hook in React. So we'll trigger this hook on the value itself. So if the index is null when the widget loads, then we just create it. We say nludb.createIndex, then we'll give it a name, customer service bot. We'll specify a model. This is the embedding model that we'll use to store answers and look up questions. And then upsert true just says to reuse this index if it's already in the database. So finally, this returns a promise. So we'll take the index that's returned by that promise and then set the state on our React component. Now let's take a look at these callbacks. On an incoming message from a customer, we want to see if the index has an answer for the question they asked and then suggest it. So first we'll say if the index is not null, then search the index where the query is the message the customer just asked. So we just used await, so we have to make this an async function. And then we'll take a look at the result, the search hits in the result, make sure there are some. And I'm taking shortcuts here, but if the confidence score on the top hit is more than 40%, what we'll do is we'll set the suggestion to the first hit's value. All right, so let's go back and touch a few things up here. We're just going to set some more state. So here on an incoming message, first we clear out the existing suggestion. We'll set that making suggestion bit to true, and then right after we get the response, we'll set the making suggestion bit to false. So outgoing messages are covered. We just clear the suggestion. And if they want to save an answer, then we want to save the answer into our embedding index for future lookup. So we just say if the index is not null, then index.insert the outgoing message and reindex it so that we can query it. All right, so let's try it out. So let's say as the customer, how much is the apple butter? We see there's no suggestion found in the index. We'll say the apple butter costs $5.99 a jar. We'll send and save. So now it should be re-indexed. Okay, and then we'll ask again, hey, how much is the apple butter per unit? And we see it comes up with the same suggestion, $5.99 a jar. So neural embeddings let you ask the question in all sorts of different ways, and this will still work. So is apple butter expensive? The apple butter costs $5.99 a jar. But if you ask, what does the oatmeal cost? Then it won't suggest anything because it doesn't pass the confidence threshold. What does the wine cost? It also won't suggest anything. In a future video, I'll show you more about bulk loading data into your embedding index so that you can add facts from Airtable, fact pages on your website, Shopify. But I just want to give you a quick preview here. So if we take a list of facts or even a table of data along with some templated sentences that can express that data, and we just add it to the embedding index, then we can go back to our widget here and we can start asking it questions like, how much is the blueberry jam? And that answer just came from this table right here in the Jupyter Notebook. Or do you ship to Hawaii? And then it'll say, we ship to all 50 US states and Canada. We can modify that, add a little customization to the answer, send it back. Or you might ask, what's in the blueberry jam? It'll give us the list of ingredients. So this sentence was generated from an enumerated list in Airtable. Pectin, what's that? Now we don't have any answer for that. But we might add, of course, pectin is an ingredient that helps the jam have a good consistency. And we can send and save that. And we can go back and forth between preloading this data or just adding it live to our index. And so now if I said, isn't pectin dangerous or something, it'll suggest pectin is an ingredient that helps the jam have a good consistency. So in just a few minutes, we took a chat interface of the sort that is on every customer service app, and we added AI to it entirely in JavaScript by calling NLUDB's APIs. If you're interested in trying this out for yourself, we'd love to chat. We're in a private beta right now. Just go to nludb.com to sign up.